Welcome back. In the last episode, we completed the first step of our create purchase order, but now we need to create the detail page and the second step for our purchase order, along with all the action buttons to allow us to update the order as received, to send the order, to delete the order, and just to edit the order generally. And of course, all that CRUD permissioning is reserved only to our warehouse managers. So let's continue with creating the detail page, and then I'll show you how to finish this process for submitting this purchase order. Go to pages, we go to purchase order details. And this is coming up okay. Let me show you an example of what we're looking to build here. So we'll bring it in here. And the example that we're looking for is something similar to like how we had it before. Our vertical layout, our big H1 text, our linked list with a table, and then the ability to add items to that purchase order. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is configure this item detail block. So let's go into content there. We're going to update this to order cost, and then we're going to keep the supplier there, but we're going to make this into an H1, and then we'll make this into an H3. So we see our purchase order here. What's the total amount? We see who it's from. And then down here, we see the status. And so let's start to update all of this stuff. And so we'll switch to vertical, and then we'll go in here, we'll add, and we'll say we want due date, supplier email, message to supplier. Where is the message? Order message, order items counts, order date. We'll say purchase order items. We'll add that there. Supplier and products. We'll add it all in there. Let's see how that goes. So that's looking nice. For the message, let's bring that to the bottom. All right, products, we'll bring this to the bottom as well. And we'll update this to tag because it's multiple things. The supplier, we already have the supplier up there, so we can actually get rid of supplier. Purchase order items, that's actually not telling us much there, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. Order costs, we actually already have as well. Order dates, I'm gonna bring up to the top. And I'm just formatting this how I would like to view it from a warehouse or sales manager point of view. So I can see the date, and then I can also see the due date. And I'm just going to go in there and just update like this. The supplier email, the order count. Let's see. We'll do the order count up there. So that's looking pretty good. I like that so far. Now let's go to our action buttons, and we're going to do a couple of different action buttons here. The first one is going to be update order, which is essentially our edit. All right. And for this one, we want more fields. We want the order due date. We want the status. We want the supplier. We want the message to supplier. So that's going to work out well. We'll say update order. We'll say update. Oops, it's been updated. All right, so I like that. So let's just make sure that our visibility settings are for warehouse manager only because it's a purchase order and only warehouse managers can manage, create, update, and delete purchase orders. Now let's move into our delete, and we'll go here. I'll make sure that's where warehouse manager as well. We'll go in here and we'll just say delete order. We'll say delete order. You sure about to delete this item? Switch that to order, and the order has been deleted. So that's good. Now we need the ability to update the order status. And for that one, we're going to actually say one-click update, update status. And what this is going to allow us to do is choose the update method. We can either replace existing value or clear value. And in this case, what we want to do is we want to mark that this item has been received. Just a really quick way for a warehouse manager to go in and say, hey, you know what? We received this purchase order. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to enter that custom value again. And it's going to be received. So now we'll just say update to received here as well, just to make that very clear to the warehouse manager. We'll go warehouse manager as well. So now we have a quick update. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second. We have a quick update. We have to delete. We have the update order. And then finally, we need one more action button. And this action button is going to be to send the purchase order. Now, there's a lot of different actions that we can do. There's a couple of them that make sense for this scenario, though. The first one is one-click update. We will just update it, but it won't actually send anything. So not that one. Export is going to actually download it. What we want is call API. This will allow you to enter the URL for a automation or a company that you need to send this to, and it will actually send the data from this order to them. And the way that you get set up this is you can go into the body there and you can enter certain keys and the value. So for example, we'll say name and then selected record, and then this will be some kind of name here. We'll say the purchase order name, and then we can keep adding and send these values and the value of the field to that order. So we can go through and add all the fields that we want to send in this call API. And then once we press the button, all this data from this page will be sent in that way. We'll just update this to send order. And we're looking pretty good there. You see that right now, Softr by default only shows you 2 action buttons. But if you click down here, it'll show the rest. And we'll show that in the preview as well. Next, let's finish up with our table and finish up with the add order items. And then we'll be finished with this lesson. So again, this is not set up as our table. So let's go over here. Let's structure it as our table. And the big thing that we want here, instead of related suppliers, we actually want purchase order items, because this is where we're going to add items to the purchase order. All right. And we're going to map it with order item ID. Order ID, get rid of that. And then we'll say the product, get rid of that. The price, price, get rid of that. Quantity, right? And total cost. There we go. There we go. Total cost, that's looking good. We need to update the background to our column header, to our gray there. All right. That's looking nice. Now for our search bar, let's just make sure that's configured correctly. We'll do the product and we'll do purchase order. Now we do need to go back to the source here and we need to add a conditional filter because we only want to show the order items that relate to this purchase order so far. Okay. So for that, we're going to say, we're going to update this. We're going to add a new one and we're going to say purchase order includes any of current record purchase order. So now we'll be able to pull in any of the purchase order items that belong to this purchase order. And then finally for this action button, say add item. And for this, we're going to have product and we're going to have quantity. We'll have a purchase order and we'll make it as hidden. So that way we can pass the current page purchase order to this item. So then it gets updated in the related table. So detail page purchase order. Okay, so let me go over that again. When we create this new record, we're going to automatically assign it to the related purchase order of the page that we're on right there. So then that way it will show up in this table here. There we go. And it's going to be add item, new item, added successfully, and open new records detail page. We don't actually need to do that. We're going to actually just do something else here. We're just going to close the modal in that way. We'll get rid of the item buttons as well. And it's going to be add item. All right. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. It's pretty advanced. Let's preview it and then test it out. So this one, we are going to go to purchase orders. And we see everything coming through. That's nice. Let's create a new order. And we're going to say the date is this. And by the way, do you see this formatting? It's formatted like that because of the field type. We selected date. So it's going to give us a date picker. And this is a drop down. So it's going to give us that. And it's going to pull in everything and say, this is a test order. All right. Now we're going to add that. Now it should bring us to the detail page for this purchase order that we just created. And there should be no order items assigned to that table yet. So nothing there. Here is that new purchase order. Now we can go add item. And we could pick what product we want. New product. In that case, the product, it should actually be a drop down. Sorry about that. It should not be this because we need to pull from the actual products available. So when we go back here, we'll go to add items. We'll go to product. This needs to be a drop down here. And we need to sync it with sources. Let's just try getting rid of this. quantity, boom. All right, let's try it one more time. All right, add item, product, microinverter, 10 of those, add, new item added successfully. Now it shows up there. Let's grab one other thing, solar charger, we'll add 50 of those. Excellent, we see all these order items coming through, price, quantity, total cost, those calculations are working well. The product related to it, new item added. We see that this is all being updated accordingly. We see the totals are being updated. And then if we want to send this order, because right now it's marked as sent or draft, we can go back to our database and see that this is draft. I want to send this order. Now we're going to send it. And you know what? We're logged in as our sales manager. So Olivia shouldn't actually be able to do any of this right now. What is going on? So let's just double check this. Go back to our action buttons. We'll go send order, warehouse manager only, warehouse manager only. All right, this should be set there. That's good, set there. Now let's go down here, warehouse manager only, logged in user, warehouse manager only. Oh man, that was a close one. So let's come back here. Olivia should not see those buttons anymore. She can't, that's great. Now let's go in as a warehouse manager. Now they see all of the buttons, update to received, send order, update order. Now let's just update it to received because that's our one-click update right there. And now if I want to go into the database there, I see it is updated as received. So that is the two-step order process with the proper permissions in place. It was a close one, but we got it. And we built something really cool here. If we go back to our purchase orders, we have this really cool experience. You can filter it. You can create new orders. When you create new orders, it's going to bring you to that page, that detail page, and so many other things. I will say one other thing because I haven't shown you yet. Right now, if I want to click on this, we actually haven't set up any kind of item on click actions. So if I go to back to my purchase order page, I click into here, I can go to actions, I can go to item buttons, and I can say open detail page. And I could just open that purchase order detail page. So that way I can make sure that I'm navigating to my detail page appropriately. And that's all working well. So now I'm over here. And if I wanted to do that as well, I can say open and it brings me to that purchase order detail page where I can update and edit everything. So that was a complicated one, probably our most complicated one to date, but it worked. Everything's coming through nicely. We have a two-way sync. Really loving it. We're going to go and build another page or two in the next lessons. So I'll see you there.